Good morning. It's Lisa with Lisa Heal Yourself. Today I'm just cozying up and I want to talk about something really important with you, and that is change. Many of you have probably heard the quote, and I don't know, it goes something like, we're not really afraid of failing. We're afraid of our own success. We're not really afraid of failure. We're afraid that we're powerful beyond measure. Those types of quotes. I don't believe that quote. Do you? Do you believe that quote? Are you really afraid of success? Are you really afraid of reaching your goal? Are you really afraid of healing? Are you really afraid to be wealthy? Are you really afraid to live your dream life and have everything that you've ever wanted come true? Are we really afraid of that? Are we really afraid of our own power? I actually don't think we are. We are powerful by nature. That is the true essence of us. We are creators. We are powerful beyond measure. And I don't think we're afraid of that. That is who we came here to be. And that is exactly who and what we are. And I don't really believe that we're afraid of it. I don't believe that that's why you're not healing and reaching your goal and reaching and succeeding and reaching your dream life, the dream life that you came here to live. I don't even believe it's because we're afraid of failure, although we are afraid of failure, but not for failure's sake. We're not really afraid to fail and get something wrong. We're afraid to be judged by others. We're afraid to not live up to our own standards and feel guilt or shame. We're afraid of being left and abandoned by others. We're afraid of being left alone. And mostly, we're afraid of not being safe. We're afraid of not surviving, not keeping ourselves safe enough to survive, not keeping ourselves protected enough to survive, not keeping ourselves small enough in others' eyes that they won't abandon us, and thus we will survive. So yes, we're afraid of being criticized by others, judged by others, and left by others. We're afraid of being abandoned, and we're afraid of our own inability to survive. But we're not actually afraid to try at something and fail. Our only fear is that we won't survive and that we'll disappoint ourselves when we don't thrive, when we don't realize who and what we are, when we don't attain that self-realization of being who and what it is that we are and what we came here to do, of reaching our success, healing, living our dream life, financial success, laughing, feeling comfortable in our own skin, being joyful, happy, and loving. That is successful. And that is who we are. That is our true nature. We don't even have to try to be that. We just are. Everything else gets in the way. The stories we construct, the identities we construct, the patterns that we live out because of our perceptions and the way we perceive reality through our stories, through our identifications, is keeping us stuck and is keeping us sick. But here's the big one, the thing I really wanted to talk about in this video, and that is change. The thing we are most afraid of all is change. We are afraid and always have been, as a human species and as individuals, of change and of the unknown because we can't predict it. We don't know what will happen, and we don't know whether we will be safe. We don't know whether we will be loved. We don't know whether we'll be accepted. We don't know whether or not we'll be abandoned. We don't know if we will survive if we change. And that is really what we resist. That is what we're afraid of. Change is what we most resist and what we humans and what you, yes, you, are most afraid of. This is what's keeping you from healing. Your inability to change. Your fear of change. The rate at which we change is the rate at which we can heal. The rate at which we can change who and what we are, all our identifications, everything, our stories, our patterns, the rate at which we can change this is the rate at which we can heal. And that's why there is instant healings. That's why there's fast healings. That's why people can heal things in a very fast time. Not because the hands of God came down and touched them, but because the rate at which they changed was instant. The rate at which they changed was quickly, was spontaneous. Thus, that's what led to the quick healing, the fast healing, the spontaneous healing. But we are deathly afraid of change. We are so afraid to change because we don't know if we will be safe, that we would rather stay stuck in a life that is not working and keeping us sick and suffering, rather than change and face the unknown. But let me tell you a little secret. Let me tell you a universal truth. If you are suffering with chronic illness, something extreme, and it's been chronic, and it's been going on for a long time, you are not getting out of this without changing. You cannot just be sick and heal without changing who it is that you are. So you're not getting out of here without changing, I promise. Resisting change or changing little by slowly over long periods of time in order to keep intact this misidentification with what you really are, this misidentification with whether you are safe or not. This slow progression is when people have a slow healing. And the people who are stuck, who are afraid to change at all, never have any movement and don't heal. And I don't say this to scare you, because change is open and available to all of us. But the truth is, you're not getting out of this without changing. So the sooner you stop resisting change, the sooner you stop fearing change, the sooner you start allowing and opening to changing fully and completely in all and every possible way, is specifically linked to the amount of time that it will take you to heal. The rate at which you're open to change is the rate at which you're open to heal. And I know many of you are saying, no, I know somebody who didn't change at all internally. Nothing shifted for them. Their life stayed the same, but they changed their diet and everything healed. Or they did some enemas, or they did a detox program and everything changed, and their health improved and they reversed this terrible diagnosis, but their life stayed the same. They didn't have to change at all. And I say to you, with the wisdom of only somebody who has suffered immensely through chronic illness, if they didn't transform to heal, if they just did some factors, some surface factors that led to a healing, that changed them enough to lead to a healing, then that was not the thing with them, and they will meet something greater later in their life that will force the inevitable change and transformation that they must go through in order to become who and what they really are, and that this illness was not the thing for them. Or maybe it could have been set up to be the thing for them, but they didn't use it as the catalyst to their change. So they will ultimately come up against something else in their lifetime, whether it be another illness, or whether it be a relationship or a deep loss, or something that forces them to face themselves and change and shift and change and transform, because that's what we came here to do. I don't believe any of us are getting out of this without change. And I think that that's what we're afraid of. We're not afraid of success. We're not truly afraid of failure. What we're most afraid of is change, because we are so afraid of the unknown. We are so afraid of whether we are capable enough to be with ourselves, to sit with ourselves, to take care of ourselves, to be responsible for ourselves, to grow up and to transform into who and what you always were, which is an unlimitless being with so much power, with the capability and power to be anything. to create the exact life that you want. We are afraid to fail because we know we are this powerful. We know that is who we are. And we don't want to spend our life in regret and sadness and guilt and shame and sorrow because we were too afraid of change to step up and become that version of ourselves, the version that we know we are, the version that we know we're capable of, the version that you know you are capable of, the version of yourself that can heal, the version of yourself that can live your dream life, that can be you. But it takes courage. It takes willpower. It takes determination. It takes vulnerability. It takes the ability to feel discomfort, to be able to withstand the discomfort and the discomfort of the fear itself that it takes to change. But if you really want to change, you change from the inside out. You change at an identity level. You stop identifying to everything physical that is here. You stop holding on. You stop using weights and anchors to weigh you down in this physical life. You stop your attachment to the story that you've created of your home, of all your things, of your belongings, of your parents and your grandparents' belongings, and your history and your past. You stop holding yourself and weighing yourself down with relationships and people and places and things. You stop attaching yourself to stories and identities and beliefs that were given to you, instilled in you, or created out of lack, out of fear, out of a story of you are not enough, out of a story that you're not strong enough, that you're not capable enough, that you're not smart enough, that you're not beautiful enough, that you're not creative enough, that you're not imaginative enough, that you are not strong enough, that you are not powerful enough. Yes, you are. Claim your power. You are powerful enough. And the first thing we need to do is cut all those anchors. Cut the anchors that weigh us down. Change the beliefs that are holding you stuck, that are holding you captive to your own power. Change the belief that you are sick, that you have to live this way. Change the story that you can't do something because you're sick, because of this person, because of the fate and the cards that life dealt you. That is not true. Stop using those things as excuses. Stop hanging on to the strings, to the anchors. Cut them. Cut the cords. Cut the anchors. Cut the stories. Cut the identities. Cut the beliefs. Cut the patterns. When you cut them and when you are brave enough to go into the unknown, when you are brave enough to face the fear of change and allow yourself to become who and what it is, allow yourself to be with discomfort, allow yourself to know you are beautiful, know you are smart, know you are capable, allow yourself to make decisions not based on stories, not based on false identities, not based on your past, but anchored right here in the present moment. When you make decisions for yourself, when you interact with people, when you make choices, when you do things, not because you have to, but because you want to. Not because you should, or because that's just who you are, or you have a certain belief or an identity, or you're afraid people will leave you or think badly of you or judge you or criticize you. All of that has to be cut. That is what you're afraid of. All of that is what you're afraid of. You're afraid to be without the anchors, without the stories, without the identities. You're afraid if you let all that go, you will be nothing. But you won't be nothing. You will be connected to everything. You will be the true version of you. You will be the authentic part of you. You will be open and ready for change. You will make different choices. You will become a different person. When you don't have these things tying you down and holding you in this spot of victimhood, You can rise up and use the power that you have always had inside you all along. You can become who you were meant to be. Yes, you can. Don't tell yourself any other story. Humans are afraid of change. You are afraid of change. You are afraid of fast change. You are afraid that if you change fast, if you let go of all of this in an instant, you won't know who and what you are. You are so afraid of that unknown that you're willing to stay stuck in an identity and a story that is holding you down, sucking your life force, taking your power, and keeping you sick. This is one of the most important videos that I will ever make, that I can ever make, because it speaks right to the heart and to the truth of what you need to do to heal. If you are still confused, watch it again. Listen closely. You are pure love. You're pure light. You are powerful. You are a creator. You have full control over your mind and your body. You are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are not your sensations. You are not your relationships. You are not your money. You are not your things. You are not any of that. You are a piece of God. You are a piece of the most powerful force, the most powerful creator. When you get present with who and what you are, when you stop fearing change and allow yourself to open in new ways, new relationships, new stories, new environments, a new identity, new personality, when you follow your heart, when you follow your bliss, when you follow who and what it is that you have came here to be, you'll stop living in regret. You'll stop living in shame. You'll stop living in fear. You won't have to live with the regret of not becoming everything that you wanted to become in this lifetime and everything that you wanted to do. You are not afraid of healing. You are afraid of the change it takes to get there. You are afraid of the unknown. You are afraid of whether you are going to be safe and still loved if you change so wildly and become a completely different person. You don't know if you will be loved or accepted or abandoned. You don't know whether you will be safe, but you will be transformed. You will be healed, and you will create a life of joy and love and purpose and meaning, and you will stand in your power, and you will know that you were the one who had to do this. You are the only one who could heal yourself. And it's about transformation. It's about opening to change. It's about allowing yourself to change into who and what it is that you are, and stop holding on to the identities and the excuses and the weights and the people and the things and everything that you have created that is not you, that is weighing you down. Let it go. Open to change. This is your moment. This is your video. Watch it again. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing and sharing it to anyone who needs to hear it. Change is up to you, and you are powerful enough. You can do this. You can let go of your past, of the old, and of anything, including your identity, your patterns, and your stories that are weighing you and sinking you down. And at any moment, you can decide to change all of it. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone out there, and I will see you in the next video.